Greetings! So I just got done reading Punk and His Pals special from 1993. I gotta say I didn't like it. It's just not my kind of comic book. I like violent comics, I like graphic novels, I like things like that, but wasn't a huge fan of this one. However, the reason I want to talk about this comic today is because it wouldn't have survived in today's world. Being published in the 90s, this was published in a time that people were allowed to express themselves in a much more free manner in comics and movies, and yeah, there's some stuff in here that I'm just like, what? The art style in it is kind of bad. It starts out really bad. Story lacking, honestly, but the fact that these guys got this published with the content that's in it, honestly, I'm okay with that. I don't like the comic. It's whatever as far as I'm concerned, but it's a great example of the freedoms that we used to have in speech, artistic expression, and we were just able to put out what we felt like putting out. And if people liked it, they bought it. If they didn't, they didn't. And the people that were meant to succeed because they were popular at the time succeeded. It's not because they were following some social agenda. This comic is literally about a punk beating the shit out of people, killing them, doing whatever the hell he wants while he listens to metal music and hangs out with a werewolf and a cyclops and like some crazy stuff in this comic. If there's any other punk comics, I won't be reading them, but wow. Anyway, I feel that this comic book is the perfect example of freedom of speech. Just to read a quick line out of it, fuck you. You spelled Y-E-W, and it's, I mean, look. Yeah. Anyway, it's a perfect example of freedom of speech. It allows, it shows what the artists and writers were feeling at the time, and how they just wanted to like create a character that was kind of like a in-your-face fuck you kind of character that nobody could really control or even get the better of. You know, he's a cybernetically enhanced punk. He's a clone, I guess. While I didn't enjoy the comic, I feel like more comics like this should be published and should come out because it speaks to a fan base that is now, under current comic book standing, being ignored by mainstream comics. Independent comic shops and independent comic makers. I really hope you guys survive the fallout from all of this stupid shit that's going on right now. Things are getting wrecked for you, and I feel for you. I do. If there were something I could do to help, I would gladly do it. Let me know. I know Nerdrotic covers the fall of the comic industry and the closing of comic shops all over the place, the canceling of comic shops all over the place, and you know, we had the privilege of growing up with some awesome comics. Nerdrotic had the privilege of growing up with some great comics from his age. For me, from 90s, 93 through, I don't know, probably 2008 was the last time I bought a new comic. Comic shops shouldn't suffer because mainstream comic makers are driven by social idiocy. To repeat myself again and again. I think one of the reasons the comic industry is failing right now is because so many companies are suppressing the freedom of speech and the freedom of artistic expression. This comic is terrible. But it's a perfect example of what the comic industry and the entertainment industry should allow, because it's someone's artistic expression. The fans of the industry, the actual fans, should be the ones that decide what's successful and what's not the companies putting out the comic books. Now, I know there's some people on social media that say individuals like me are just regurgitating what I hear and don't add anything new to the conversation. And what I'm here to add to this conversation may not seem new, but America was built on the idea that people were allowed to freely express themselves in writing. We were allowed to freely express ourselves in speech, art, and any other medium that we felt fit the way we felt at the time. While the human psyche is hardwired to view the negative, it's also hardwired to seek out positive. We are focusing so much on the negative right now that nothing positive can come of it. Comic book industries, media giants, feel that they're right because they're popular. Celebrities feel the same way. Here in the United States, I feel that we should be the center of industry for entertainment, among other things, and that we shouldn't hinder creative output simply because it doesn't fit the popular message being sent out on social media. Social media is a great way to connect to other people, but it shouldn't be a platform for screaming and yelling and whining and complaining like a little bitch. I keep myself composed pretty well, especially on camera. But right now, I just gotta say, what the actual fuck? Growing up in this country, I thought everything in the future was going to be awesome. I didn't think that my entire generation was going to turn out to be a bunch of whiny little bitches that had a problem with anything
that made them feel kind of bad on the inside.
Now, I'm not trying to attack you. I'm just saying grow a backbone. Quit being offended by everything. You're not the center of the world. Whatever cause you are championing is not the most important thing in the world for everybody else. You want to find a bunch of like-minded individuals and you want to scream in the street, you go ahead. Leave the cultural background of America that is entertainment and industry alone. Entertainment in the United States should be for everyone, period. You want to attack the white males that have consumed media in this country since the beginning, and then wonder why your profits are falling out from under you? Maybe you should take into account the fact that we don't mind it if you put out chick flicks. We don't mind it if you put out socially diverse movies. We don't care if you focus on homosexuality. But there should be some movies that are simply entertaining. For instance, the generic action movie. As a 90s kid, I love it. But anyway, that's enough chit-chat from me. If you liked this video, please remember to like, subscribe, and share. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day.